This is the first goal in the Olsen FC versus Philadelphia Union match. This one comes courtesy of a Daniel Gazdag penalty kick. And so the lead up to that penalty came from a Kai Wagner free kick, which hit off of Alex Ring's hand inside the 18-yard box. The referees go to VAR and determine that within a minute, it's a penalty kick, and Daniel Gazdag steps up to convert that penalty. But what was so weird about this play is when the referees went to the monitor, during that time, we never got an angle of the potential penalty. It just cut straight to the referees coming over and pointing to the penalty spot. And so we had to wait until Daniel Gazdag converted that penalty to get this replay to show the penalty inside the 18-yard box. And so Kai Wagner steps up. You can't really see it right here on this angle that it's inside the 18-yard box. This is the best angle that we got from the referees. Takes a slight deflection there. You can see Alex Ring is clearly in the 18-yard box. Referees say penalty, and Daniel Gazdag, the Union's designated penalty taker, is going to step up here and convert this to the goalie's right. Daniel Gazdag, first player in MLS history to convert his first 20 penalties in his MLS career. And yes, Daniel Gazdag gets a lot of hate, a lot of stick for being a penalty merchant, but you want to have a player in your team that you feel confident when they're going to step up to the spot and convert every time. And I know I said on Twitter, there's just one moment in Union history when Daniel Gazdag let you down from the penalty spot. We don't have to go and replay that moment, but in the regular season, Daniel Gazdag's money is 20 for 20, sends Brad Stuver the wrong way, puts the Union up early in this game, 1-0. Fantastic start for the Union. All right, so this is the second goal in this match. This one comes courtesy of Diego Rubio of Olsen FC to tie this game at 1 apiece. And there's a lot wrong on this play that I want to highlight before we get to the goal. And so Olsen is just going to go ahead and move the ball from left to right. And I have Jose Martinez and Jack McGlynn here, the two players I want to focus on real quick for the Union. Jose Martinez has got to be closer to the ball. Jack McGlynn, this pass is going to come from the left to the right. Jack McGlynn needs to be just checking over his left shoulder, making sure that, hey, look, nobody's behind me. Needs to be aware, and I know he's paying attention to the player on the ball, which is what you want to do, but you want to constantly be checking over your shoulders. You want to be scanning the field. And by the time that this pass gets brought over to the right side of the field, you can see that there's just way too much time, way too much space that Olsen had on the right side of the field, and it allows this cross to be taken with time. The attacker, Jimenez, is able to lift his head, pick out his cross, and I know this is a little bit unfortunate that it takes a deflection off of Jack Elliott, but prior to this ball being clicked, look at the back line for the Union. Harriel, Elliott, Lowe, and Wagner. This isn't a great back line. They're not all in sync. They're not in a straight line. You have Damian Lowe, who's pushed up the farthest side of all of them. You have Jack Elliott and Nate Harriel right there on the right side of the field, aware of Diego Rubio, who's going to be the goal scorer. But when you're playing this high line, you want to make sure everybody's just in sync. You want to make sure that players aren't farther behind each other. You don't want to make sure players are farther ahead. And that's exactly what happened here. It's just not a line that's in sync with each other. And so this ball gets sent in by Jimenez, takes a deflection, and Diego Rubio just sneaks in behind there on Jack Elliott. And that's just really poor defending. Yes, I know, like I said, the ball takes a deflection off of Jack McGlynn, and there's nothing you can do off of that. But what you want in this situation is, Damian Lowe's push furthest ahead out of all the defenders. If he's a step back, maybe Damian Lowe is able to get a foot on this. You see him throw a foot at this, but there's no excuse whatsoever why Jack Elliott should have got beat by Diego Rubio. We can see just what I was talking about, that line just not in sync. Jack Elliott just completely beat there by Diego Rubio. Damian Lowe tries to put a foot at this ball to try to get a deflection, try to knock it down, but no attempt there by Jack Elliott. And maybe the deflection there threw Jack Elliott off, but as a center back, when these balls get sent inside the 18-yard box, it's your job to clear the ball away. And Jack Elliott just shows no fight here on this equalizer by Austin. This is the third goal. Austin's second in 2 minutes. It goes from bad to worse for the Union to go down 2-1. And this is a really bad goal to concede if you're the Union. Just correctable issues, but we've seen just time and time again just players out of position, players lacking hustle. And so Austin's just going to go ahead and create essentially a 3v2 right here against Kai Wagner and Jack McGlynn on the right-hand side of your screen. Daniel Gazdag, in my opinion, should be coming closer to Jimenez, who's about to collect this ball, putting the pressure on. And so the pass is going to go into Jimenez here, who's going to put it right back to O'Brien. And Wagner's so close there to closing that down with the press, but now Wolf's in, and that's going to force Damian Lowe, Jose Martinez, to go ahead and shift over to the right side of your screen to go ahead and just follow this ball. But in doing so, that pulls Jose Martinez out of position where he should have been more centrally in the middle of that field, which then forces Quinn Sullivan to move out of position to track Alex Ring. Nate Harriel and Jack Elliott are doing well in this play, aware of their attackers' 1v1 situations here. But really, because Daniel Gazdag didn't help out in that press, it created that issue right there on the right-hand side of the screen prior to this with Jack McGlynn and Kai Wagner essentially getting beaten on a 3v2 situation. And look at all the space you have right there on your screen for Alexander Ring. And I think this is where Owen Wolf actually wanted to play the ball. But it actually finds its way to John Gallagher, and he's able to put the ball in the back of the net to put Austin up 2-1. This is just one of those plays where you've got to be pressing. And after you just gave up the equalizing goal, you don't want to see head shake and to see Austin come right back down your throats 2 minutes later and score yet again. You want to see the determination, and you didn't see that here on this play. Again, that situation I was talking about, Owen Wolf in a lot of space wants to play this ball into Alexander Ring. Ball actually winds up with John Gallagher, which is probably what you would have hoped for if you're an Austin fan, because he's completely unmarked, because everybody's shifting ball side. Jose Martinez out of position here on this play, which then forces Quinn Sullivan, who should have been on Gallagher, to go into the middle and pick up on Alexander Ring. But nonetheless, Austin go up 2-1. This one comes courtesy of Mikael Uhre to tie this game at 2 apiece. And so we're going to see a giveaway here by Jimenez. Jose Martinez is going to beat Alexander Ring to the ball. John Gallagher's out of position. Does he go to the ball? Does he not? Nate Harriel continues a forward run, an overlapping run off of Jose Martinez. Nate's going to play the ball inside the 18-yard box. It's a loose ball that Mikael Uhre picks up, and it's in the back of the net. But like I just mentioned, Jose Martinez beats Alexander Ring to this ball. And John Gallagher, who's now playing left back for Austin, he's not sure, should I step to the ball, should I back off? And so now he's caught out of no man's land, which then puts the back line of Austin in a little bit of an awkward position. Nate Harriel is going to make that overlapping run, that forward run, which Jose Martinez will eventually slot the ball into. But a couple things highlight it. You have the back line here by Austin, Jimenez, the two center backs, and then Gallagher. It's not the greatest positioning because Gallagher's obviously out of position. He wasn't sure should he step to the ball or not. But the other three players, I think they're defending this pretty well. They're keeping a straight line, unlike the Union in one of the goals that they gave up. But in doing so, none of the defenders are aware of Mikael Uhre, who's highlighted there on your screen. Also, Jack McGlynn on the left-hand side of your screen. Both of these guys are free on the back end of things. And we talked about scanning the field, just being aware of where players are. None of these players, none of the center backs with the left back, Jimenez, right back, and look over and are aware of where Mikael Uhre, where Jack and Glenn are. And so Jose Martinez plays this ball into Nate. Nate Harriel is going to play it across the box, and because nobody's aware of where Mikael Uhre is at, it's an easy tap in for Mikael to put the Union tied with Austin 2-2, and that's exactly the response you want to see from the Union after conceding 2 goals in 2 minutes, after they were leading at one point in this game where it looked like the Union were rolling in the first half. You felt the Union probably should have had 2 goals, but nonetheless, they go into halftime leading 1-1, give up 2 goals, and then here's the fight back to tie the game up. Fun fact, though, I looked this up. Prior to Mikael Uhre scoring this goal from open play, the Union had went 429 minutes in all competitions, which comes out to be 4.7 games without a goal from open play. And with not scoring from open play, that's not going to win you many games, but Mikael Uhre, right place, right time, 2-2.